Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mind. We are joined by head women's soccer coach Matt Perry. And
Thank
Coach, you're in your second year now at Missouri S&T. Kind of weird at this point, right? First year done, now we're in the summer.
Literally about 2 weeks ago I got the kind of card from HR saying, like, thank you for a year's service. And I was like, wow, it's really been a year. It's gone fast but slow at the same time, but it's been really good so far.
And before we get into your season, we'll talk about some personal life stuff. We recorded these a little bit ahead of time for you because you are expecting a baby here in a couple weeks here, right?
That's it, yes. Well, hopefully not a couple of weeks. We're about 7 or 8 weeks out now, so we're on the business end of the pregnancy. So it's, originally this was scheduled a little bit too close to the due date, so I asked if we can move it. Next time you see me, I'll probably look more tired. Definitely more antsy. We're excited. My wife is pregnant, so we're excited. Life's about to change. So.
Yeah, right, for sure. We can get into a little bit about your coaching career. Obviously, you're going into your second year now, but you've had some pro experience in your career. You just graduated college in 2019, right?
Yeah, 2019. I know it seems like yesterday I was in college, but I went kind of straight into coaching after that. I didn't know if I wanted to be a college coach or a coach in general, to be honest, and immediately fell in love with the profession and the kind of working with college players and not just helping them be better at soccer, but also preparing them for life as well. I really like that aspect of it too. So I fell in love with it, and I've been at it since then. So
and you have experience at the Division II level before coming to Missouri S&T. What's that kind of transition like into D2 here at S&T?
I had a really great head coach, Simon Duffy at Carson Newman, and he was he's very experienced, and he got that team to, in his first year at Carson Newman, he got them to a national final and ended up losing. But he was an unbelievable mentor for me, and he kind of I didn't want to say I was immature, and I was young, of course, but he kind of showed me the ropes a little bit and was like, this is the way to behave, this is how you want to approach practice every day and all that kind of stuff. So he was an awesome role model for me. So coming in as a first year head coach was a challenge. I had to deal with a lot of other things that as an assistant you don't deal with. But it's been great so far, and the girls have been awesome too, so it's been really fun. Yeah,
we can talk about your last season, 4-11-2, the overall record. You guys went 4-8-2 in GLVC play. Kind of came down to the end there. You guys could have snuck into the tournament just a couple points shy.
Yeah, so, I mean, looking back, if we beat Rockhurst last day, we would have snuck in. So, we fell short of our goals, like very short of our goals, to be honest. Making the tournament for us was the bare minimum, and we obviously fell quite short of that. But we kind of left it a little bit too late. There was the start of the season was quite slow for us. We didn't, in my opinion, and the girls will probably agree, we didn't come in quite ready to go after it as we should have. So we had a slow start, and then, towards the end, it was just kind of a little bit too much for us. We ended up beating Jewel and feeling really good, then played Truman a couple of days later and put in a really poor performance, and that kind of, slowed us down. And then, up at Iowa, we're 1-0 up with 5 minutes to go. If we sneak through that, we would have enough points to be in there. And UMSL too, we conceded with a couple of minutes to go. So, it's fine margins in this conference, and we ultimately fell short of our goals. But it was a good experience for them to go through. Like, you can't leave it this late anymore, especially in the GLVC. You got to get after it.
Yeah, especially in this conference. I mean, this conference is just so good at soccer, and anyone can beat anyone on any given day, right? And you guys beat number 23 McKendree. That was back on October 6th, 2-1. Kind of walk me through that game, because McKendree, they took a 1-0 lead early on.
Yeah, I mean, so we played Springfield on the Friday, and I was very open and honest with the team, like the standards and the quality in that game was just not good enough. We were nowhere near it, and I said to them, like, we need a reaction, and all credit to them. They went out there and they did that, and McKendree are a top team, and they were flying at the time. They were kind of 8-0 or something at that point, and they were really flying. So our mindset going into that game was kind of, there's going to be moments where we're going to have to suffer and we're going to have to deal with it, and obviously we were bailed out a lot of times by Asia, our goalkeeper. She smashed it that game. So, but after that game, it was kind of, that's what we wanted to push on. That was kind of the levels and the standards that we knew we could reach. And it was kind of disappointing that we couldn't kind of put a run together after that. But that game was that was an indicator for me that we're going to be good. We're going to be fine. We can compete against these guys, and yeah, it was a really good performance on the day. So
Yeah, it was McKendree. They took a 1-0 lead in the 7th minute. Then Jenna Marty ties it up in the 27th. And Natalie Bello in the 77th minute put it ahead for the Miners. 7 saves for Asia in that game as well.
yeah, awesome. I mean, we did really well. Like it wasn't like you look at the stats and it looked very one-sided, but it wasn't that way. We dominated possession. We kept the ball really well, and we stuck to our principles too, which was what we always want to do in every single game. So, and obviously, Jenna got us back in at half time, and then towards the end, we're kind of hanging on, and Asia's bailed us out a couple of times. So, but it's good. That's what we train for, So.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about that William Jewell game as well. You guys were on the road at William Jewell, a 5-0 victory for the Miners in that game. 3 goals in the first half. Ava Honus, Melissa Parker, Grayson Erzman in the first half, and then Haley Prime and Macy Wilderson put it away. You think a 3-0 lead at halftime would do it, but you guys just wanted to keep pouring it on in that game, right?
I mean, we hadn't scored many goals in the last few games before that. I think we maybe scored 1 against kind of Upper Iowa. The other games, we did go down to 10 men in a couple of those, but, we were kind of 3-0 up, and girls are feeling good at halftime, so it was very much trying to keep them grounded. Look, we have to carry this on, we concede a goal here, they'll be feeling good. They're at home. They might push on after that. So yeah, we kept on it. But that was one of our best performances of the season for sure. We started and we warmed up very well, and we started the game really quick. So that's kind of that performance followed by Truman was the most frustrating thing, because we kind of didn't turn up against Truman at all. So
yeah, I want to talk about some individual players in your squad this year. Obviously, senior Ava Honus in her last year with the Miners, 4 goals, 5 assists, 13 points, 27 shots. She had 16 shots on goal this season too. Kind of talk about her and her leadership she brought to your team this year.
She's incredible. Ava, every day, she's not one of those. She was a captain for us, but she's not one of those players that's going to shout and scream at her teammates. She very much leads by example. Every practice session she's there on time, ready to go, smashes it, gives 100%. And we'll miss her a lot. We did an article about her, and I kind of said she literally would go to war for Missouri S&T, and that's how I feel. She is still that way now. She came to a lot of our spring games, came and been our best supporter as well. So we'll miss her a lot. We'll miss her kind of tenacity in there. She was a staple for us in the midfield, so we'll definitely miss her. But hopefully, some of our younger players can step up, and then the freshmen coming in as well can kind of take her role.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the other top goal scorers. Grayson Erzman with 3 goals. Melissa Parker had 4 as well. Brooke Bendoff with 3. What do those kind of players kind of give for you this past year?
Yeah, and in the spring they've scored even more too. So we want our midfielders to, we kind of spoke about it in spring, we kind of want our midfielders to join in the attack a little bit more than they maybe did this fall. So, having Gray and Mel in there as kind of our stability centre mids, kind of 2 seniors that, will hopefully play lots of minutes this year for us and kind of keep that consistency in there. So, they are our core right now, our 2 centre mids. So it's kind of good that they're also getting amongst the goals at the same time. And then Brooke as well. She's done really well for us. She's kind of, she kind of came in quite late in her freshman year, and it was kind of a last minute decision for her to come and join the program. So. We've been really pleased with her, and I think she's grown a lot this spring as well. We've kind of had to change her game slightly, but she's reacted really well to it. So. And
then on the goalkeeper side, you guys will lose Natalie Newman to graduation, but you'll return Anastasia Barcom and Kristen Oliver. Talk about those 2 goalkeepers and what they'll bring to your team.
Yeah, great people. They push each other. Asia's just crazy, and that's what we want our keepers to be. And Chris is very much the same. They kind of push each other every day. And obviously we have Madeline coming in as well, a freshman that's hopefully going to compete and push with those 2 as well. But it's such an important part of the game is a goalkeeper. Like you see against McKendree, she bailed us out of trouble so many times. So looking forward to those 3 pushing each other and kind of we need clean sheets this year. We had 1, which looking back is kind of really hurt us throughout the season. So we've spoke about that over spring, and they've definitely reacted well. So.
Yeah, definitely. And then we can talk about Natalie Bello for a little bit too. She was obviously playing on the international stage right now for Team Panama. What have you kind of seen from her as her collegiate coach on that stage?
Yeah, she takes it all in a stride. It's an awesome kind of experience representing your country. And she came in, I was like, Coach, I don't want to miss too much of this. And I'm like, you got to go. Like this is this is the pinnacle of a lot of people's career, is representing your country. So she's been great. She had a bit of a tough year with injuries, a kind of stop and start. She started really quick and then picked up a few injuries, so that kind of slowed her down. But it's been great seeing her on the international stage, and it's just that a testament to here. She can be a high academic person in engineering classes and doing really well, but also playing soccer at a high level at the same time. So it's awesome.
Yeah, for Team Panama, she scored a couple of goals this summer, right?
Yeah, she scored. So they played. They had a tough group. They had Canada and Mexico in their group. So they had a tough few losses in those few games. But then the last game, they won 4-1, and she scored the last goal to kind of seal the win. So that was really cool. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, for recruits too, you can see this is the level of player that we have here. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and then, looking forward to next season, the 2025 season, you guys will have a bit of a different schedule. You'll go to Pittsburgh State to return it from last year, but a couple different non-con opponents as well, and then conference slate will just flip over and you'll play the same opponents again.
Yeah, so we have Christian Brothers coming here opening day. So the girls played them a couple of years back, and they couldn't return last year, so they're coming back this year. So that would be nice, someone new for me. And obviously Pitt State, they were a first-year program last year, and that was my first game as well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of... no one knew anything about anybody, so it was just a bit of a shootout, really. So we're looking forward to going there with a bit more structure than we had this year. And then Missouri Western, they smashed this year. They went to national tournament, and it's a good challenge for us. We like to test ourselves in the non-conference schedule. It's important that it prepares us. Last year we went 0-3 non-conference, so it was kind of a kick up the butt that we needed to kind of nail down the GLVC, because the GLVC is a GLVC. There's no easy games in there. You might even look at the William Jewell game and think, oh, that was a bit of an easy one for us, but we were tested and we were challenged out of that game too. And we got, Drury had a really good season. Umsal ended up winning the tournament. McKendree went to national tournament as well. So did Maribor. It's a beast of a conference. But the good thing for us this year is that we've got a lot of games at home against those tougher teams, and that's going to work in our advantage, hopefully. Yeah,
definitely. And then, this is kind of your first summer with the team, right? Your first full summer. You got your first recruiting trail as well this year. How did that kind of go? And talk to me about your incoming class for 25.
Yeah, the recruiting trail is something else here at this school, because it's you can't just go and find anybody. A lot of time you got to find someone that's interested in STEM. Otherwise, the school isn't super, super attractive to them. But our incoming class is great. We picked up a lot of our 25s really early. A lot of them came to our ID camp last August. So it was very easy for us to get those players that I'd seen, identified they'd been on campus. They loved it here. So it was quite easy that way. We've got a couple of spaces left, still looking at maybe a couple of transfers coming in. We'll have to see that. Obviously, this will go out by then. But, we're it's... the summer is the summer. There's a lot of games to go and watch, and some of the high schools are still playing too, so I'm also out watching those games too. So our 25 class is super technical, which is the way that we want to play, so we're looking forward to kind of getting those guys in, ready to kickstart the fall.
Yeah, and the final question I'll ask you, you are the only international person on our coaching staff throughout the entire board.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you? I mean, you came over from England, obviously, in college, but, what does that kind of mean to you for the only international on our staff?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I think it doesn't really bother me. You know, I think that people like it, and they kind of, but I've been here for so long.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of, I was super lucky. I have an incredibly supportive family that, was supportive of my goals to come over here, and when I came here, the plan wasn't to stay. It wasn't to come here and live in this country, but obviously I met my wife, and we got a cat and a baby on the way. You know, so it's kind of it's my home now. But England will always be my home, my true home, and every time I go back home, it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, people they mock the accent a little bit, and they kind of ask me questions all the time. What's it like there? What's it like? All this kind of stuff. But it's I try not to make it my whole personality. I'm just a coach at the end of the day, and I want to get this team better. So
well, I can't fact check this all, but you might be the only British person here in Rolla.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I know there was a golf guy that was from England as well. I don't know if he's still here. But probably if we did the census, whatever, one British man here is probably going to be me. But yeah, it's fun. I love it here. It's cool. So
yeah. Well, Matt, thank you. Do you have any closing thoughts? Looking forward to the 25 season coming up.
Yeah, really excited. I mean, obviously our schedule's out there, so if you guys want to come check us out, something that we're trying to do is be more inclusive in the community and kind of get the Raleigh community to come watch our games. Kids, older people, whatever. We want them to come out and watch, and the girls love it when people come and watch us and we get new fans. So
and they feed off that, right? The crowd that you guys have out there.
We played against Lindenwood in the spring, and a lot of our girls are from St. Louis, so all their families came, and it felt like a home game, and the girls just responded to that really well. So if you've got time to come watch a game, definitely come out and watch because they're going to be fun to watch this year.
And for those that don't know, it's a men's and women's doubleheader in the GLVC. So
That's
any conference game, you also see the men play as well.
There you go.
And we'll see you up in the booth sometime.
Yeah,
right?
I might come back in there, do that color commentary. I think the views went up when they heard me
I
on
think so
there.
too. That might be the peak right there from last season. All right, Matt, thank you, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Inside the Mine.